Well, hello and welcome to Talk Leadership with Cedrick. You know, everybody needs a little TLC, and I am Cedric LaFleur, your host for today's show. And, you know, Talk Leadership with Cedric is where we focus on leadership, personal development with business leaders, educators, and local thought leaders who are making an impact with innovative ideas. So, our goal tonight is to shed some light on basketball and introduce you to a dynamic basketball player, and we're just going to have a good conversation. You know, our guiding leadership principle is the law of contribution, which says growing yourself enables you to grow others. See, you can't give what you don't have. So first, you must grow yourself in order to grow others. We believe that outstanding leaders like yourself will help us make an impact on the world. So, you know, every week I like to do a proper introduction of my guests. And tonight, I'm definitely going to do a proper introduction of my guest. She's a young lady that's special to me. And let me tell you, if you don't know Brooke McCarty-Williams, you will know her after the end of this evening, right? So Brooke is 24 years old. She is she was a starting point guard and in our high school at Clear Springs High School. And as a point guard there, she finished the year, her 4 years there, one as a 4-year starter. She holds the all-time scoring record of over 3,000 points. It's in high school, folks. She wasn't finished yet. In 2014, she also became the McDonald's All-American. That's the highest rank a high school player can achieve. After which she decided to go to those Longhorns and at UT Austin, where she accumulated over 1,500 points in her college career. Overall, she's ranked second in made three-pointers, fourth in three-point field goal percentage. In her junior season, she became the Big 12 Player of the Year. She was dynamic on the floor, folks. And she finished out her career as a collegiate All-American. She graduated from UT in 2018 with a degree in youth and community services, youth and community studies with the emphasis in youth services and a minor in social work. After her college career, she attended the LA Sparks training camp, and she went through the camp, and then she decided to move on. A few months later, she traveled overseas. She was ready to play basketball again. She traveled overseas and she played in Finland, and she took those her dynamic skills there. And guess what happened? They won the championship, the Euro Basket Championship, right? And guess what? She was MVP. She grabbed MVP honors. The following year, she made the WNBA Dallas Wings. She was invited to the training camp. She made the 12-man roster, and that kind of finished out her professional career at that point. Then she said, all right, now it's time for me to give back a little bit, right, Brooke? She said, let me coach some people, right? And she was coaching at Lynn Haven Middle School in Virginia Beach, right? Get this, see, when winners show up, people, winning happens, right? Her team finished the season with their first winning record in years. You see, when winners show up, folks, great things happen. So she's right now a wife, a mother of a 7-month-old baby, and she's enjoying life right now, but she's thinking about, you know, what she's going to do next in her life. And basketball has played a major part in your life. So welcome to the show, Brooke.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm so excited to have you on the show. And what I want to do, Brooke, is just really have a conversation with you and let the audience get to know who you are, talk about your basketball experience, and talk to, you know, there's some young basketball players out there that you know, that want to come up. Some of them think they have some skills, and we're going to talk about your skills. Okay.
Perfect.
So, hey, you know, I read your bio, but kind of give people a brief understanding of who Brooke McCarty-Williams is.
So I'm originally from Madisonville, Texas. Grew up there for a little while, and then my mom, she moved us to Houston, Texas. And so I actually started playing for Mr. Ced's team that he had way back in the Gap, and that's kind of where it all started for me. I know that, you know, Mr. Ced, Coach Chris was a part of your program and things like that, and so I was able to come over to their program and, play up. And so from there, it just kind of, it's been basketball, basketball, basketball. Like you said, I went to Clear Springs High School and I graduated there, and I went on to go play at UT. And then after that, I played a little bit of pro, but now, I'm just kind of trying to figure out who Brooke is outside of basketball. So, enjoying that mom life and everything. And I have a brother, I have a mom, obviously I have a mom, but I have a younger brother, and my husband, he's in the Navy. And so, just kind of maneuvering through life, honestly.
Well, that is awesome, folks. Let me tell you what: when you watch basketball, women's basketball, and you watch the point guard position, Brooke was the epitome of that position. I mean, she was short in stature, but she was tall in skill set on the floor. Right? Nobody wanted to be the person that get crossed over by Brooke. No one wanted to be the person that was going to let her step back and hit that shot. So she was a dynamic player on the floor. So what are some of the things you're doing in the basketball world right now, if you're doing anything?
Right now I'm actually in between going to play again. Like I said, I took this last year off when our season in Dallas ended in 2019. I took that year off. And so now I'm kind of getting back into if I want to play or not. And then I'm actually launching a program with another former Longhorn, Ashley Roberts, at the end of this month. And it's kind of like a virtual online training program.
Okay.
And, we offer mentorship, we offer film review, and we offer, basketball skill training. Obviously, the basketball skill training is a little bit limited just because it's over Zoom calls. So I'm doing that right now, which is going really well. And so I'm liking that, and I'm doing a couple of trainings here and there. Working towards doing some camps. Not too sure how many I want to do or how I want that to go. So, just kind of looking at my options, but also giving back in the basketball world, like you said, doing a couple of trainings and things. So that's kind of what I'm figuring out at the moment while being a mom and everything like that. So just trying to figure out where I can put my hand in and kind of give back.
Okay, well, you definitely have a lot to offer. Not just a girl basketball player, but any basketball player if they want to understand how to run the point, right? So if you have a link where people can register, I didn't get that from you before the show, but put it in there. There's a private chat button there. Put it in there, and then I'll post it so that people can contact you. All right. So when you were growing up, right, when did you realize that you had this very special, unique talent on the basketball floor?
I would have to say maybe around middle school. Yeah, I would have to say around middle school. I always played with my age group growing up. It was a lot of us in the area that kind of played together, and we were called HTX Fire at the time. And we all played together, but we played up each time. So our team was young, but we played against older girls all the time, and I thought that I was, I knew that I was pretty good, but I didn't really know until I came and played for your team, and I was able to compete at a high level with, older girls and hold my own. And so I think around in middle school, I realized, maybe I'm pretty good at, what I can do. So, yeah, about middle school.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So, folks, in middle school, she was playing at the high school level. All right. That's how good she was, and everybody else around her knew she was very good. She just figured, oh, that's just what I do.
Right.
That's awesome. So when different groups, I know a lot of people try to recruit you to come play, especially at the AAU level, right? Try to come play for their team. How did you feel doing those moments, or didn't even bother you?
I think at that time I was kind of stuck in between, because with the team that I had played for, AAU is a tricky world. And so the team that I had played for, we had grown up together, basically. Like, we played together since we were super young. And before HTX, we were hot shots, And so it was kind of, for me, it was kind of about that loyalty. that I owed to my, my sisters and things like that. And I didn't want to leave that, but at the same time, it was, making that big decision whether I want to, move forward in my game, or do I want to kind of stay still, stagnant, and keep competing at this level, which I was doing very well, but I wasn't being challenged enough. And so for me, that was kind of the big thing was, do I leave my friends and do I leave everything that I know that we've built on this team to go to another team where, I'm not sure where I'll fit into their system, not sure where I'll fit into their program, but do I give it a shot anyway? So I think at that point, it was more about, those friendships that I built, those family connections that I built, and trying to distinguish, like, okay, do I want this or do I want to be able to, advance in my skills? So it wasn't really necessarily like, oh, I want to go play for this team, or I wonder what this team is like, or anything like that. It was, you know, will they still be my friend? Because in middle school, it's like, will they still be my friend if I go and leave? And
Right.
obviously there's hard feelings, because when you build relationships with people, it's hard to, see them go and things like that. But after that, it was a no-brainer that, I needed to go. I needed to branch out and kind of, be able to spread my wings. So
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, I know that when Chris called and said, "Hey, Brooke's coming over," I was like, "Oh, happy day!"
yeah, yeah. Yeah, those are good times.
That was a really good time. And it was amazing because your group of girls you were playing with, you guys had a lot of talent on your team,
Right.
right? And you can see some of the talent as you guys got older, went on to play at some major colleges and universities, right? You guys,
Right.
of course, several of them came to play on our team.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like a whole transition. Everybody come to this team now.
Yeah, it just felt like, oh, this is what God wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like somebody needed to take the step, but after that, now everybody can take it.
Exactly, exactly. So you played at UT,
Right.
the Longhorns, right? That was another happy day. I was glad that you decided to go play at UT. Um,
Yeah.
and so, what was that experience like playing in Austin?
The overall experience of playing in Austin was great. I mean, the atmosphere, um, everybody loves Austin. Everybody loves UT.
Hmm.
So I think that experience was, you know, out of the roof. I met so many like great people, so many donors, so many, people who are just really genuine people that want to see you succeed. But as far as, transitioning from high school to college, I think for me it was a big culture shock, because you think that you're working hard, you think that like you got this. You're like, okay, college can't be that different. It's like I played against these girls in AAU. They're a little bit older than me, but it's fine. Like I've always played against them. But I was taken by surprise how different and how hard it was for me to adjust at first. I think mainly because I was so much of a homebody and so much of a family person, things like that. Like having to leave my mom and everything like that. Even though it was 3 hours
Hmm.
away, it was a big change for me, and I was super homesick. So I think that my freshman year was kind of a learning experience, um, and it was a learning experience from time management. It was a learning experience from just being pushed like you've never been pushed before.
Hmm.
Um, just a whole bunch of different things. You think that you understand the game. I thought that I understood the game pretty well, but when you get to college, there's a different level that you have to understand. All of a sudden there's film. All of
Right.
a sudden, there's these 6 a.m. workouts and you're outside running. You're like, huh. But it's really about time management. So I think that was the biggest piece for me. But after my freshman year, and I got accustomed to everything that was going on, and I figured out how to manage my schedule and when to eat, when to sleep, things like that.
Yeah.
I think after that it was kind of smooth sailing, just because I was comfortable then. It was more of an uncomfortable situation for me until it took me a whole year. Some people it takes a couple months, or some people are just fine right away, but me, it took a whole year for me to kind of adjust. And
Sure.
so, but overall, you know, after that, I believe that it was like the experience was great.
Was awesome. Yeah. And, you know, when you leave high school, you're the big man on campus, right?
Right,
And
right,
I do. And it's like, hey, nobody can touch Brooke. This is this, that, all this type of stuff. Then you get to college and there's a lot of big dogs on campus.
right. Exactly, exactly. And it's like you're going from playing a lot, you know, and then having to learn all these plays, and then not so much playing, hitting that freshman wall. And that was my biggest, you know, setback. I think was
Sure.
that whole just freshman year. I was just trying to get like take it all in. It was just like everything was coming at me, and I was not prepared.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing because even sometimes coaches will try to get kids prepared, mentally prepared for that next
Mhm.
level, but you never
Right,
really get it until you're there, right?
right, right.
Oh, this is about okay. Um, well, that's awesome. So, what would you say have been some of your biggest accomplishments so far today?
Um, I would say for the basketball world, you know, just being able to compete at a high level, and make it all the way pro. You know, you talk about it as a kid, but you know, the reality for like women's basketball is it's not really a big percentage that makes it all the way, you know? So
Mhm.
I think that that's a huge accomplishment, just being able to say that I did that, and that, you know, my hard work paid off. And then, you know, just being able to graduate college, things like that. You know, you don't really think about it at the time. You're like, I should be graduating. But when you
Yeah.
look back at it, you know, that's a big accomplishment. So I would definitely think that, you know, being a wife, and, you know, having my son. So those are some big things, I think, you know, though,
Yeah.
as you look back, you're like, I'm all these things, you know?
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And I still remember when you graduated high school and you had a like a luncheon, and I went there and I looked at a picture of you, me, and Brianna Turner uh,
Yep.
in that picture, and it's like look like years away. I mean, you guys are getting older, I'm getting younger, but you know.
Right, right, exactly. I can see it. I can see it.
Um, so you're a new mother, right?
Right.
And that's obviously exciting and exhilarating, and can be challenging as well because you got to get used to now. The smallest thing in the house has the most control.
Yes, it's his world, and I'm just living in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, me and his father, we're just living in it. Yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So what's been the biggest transition you guys have to make with having a baby?
Um, I would have to say just having another, because me and his father, well, me and his dad, we're pretty much on the go people. So whatever we want to do, we'll go and do it. Like, you know, but now we have to be like, oh, okay, we got to take a step back. Now we have to, you know, prepare an hour ahead before we go somewhere, or else we're not coming, you know? Um, I would have to say probably our sleep schedule. When he was first born, we both looked at each other and we were like, what did we just do? He was up 24/7, and I still have pictures like we're both just looking so tired, and you know, but it's so fun. I think at first when we had to get over that, you know, okay, we're not gonna get sleep for a little while, or you know, we just have to kind of base our schedule around him.
Yeah.
And so I think that's been, I wouldn't say a challenge, but the biggest change that we have, just because we weren't really on a schedule before. You know, it was just kind of we up and go whenever. But now it's like, okay, does he need to take a nap? Okay, does he need to eat? Does he need to do this? So I would say that pretty much.
Okay. All right. Well, that's awesome. And here's the thing: every parent goes through that
Oh yeah,
at
yeah.
some point, right? Now you know the stuff your mom went through.
Right, right. I'm like, oof, oof.
And since we're talking about, since I met your mom, how is your mom?
She's good. She's good. She's enjoying the grandma life. So, you
Okay.
know, she's head over heels with that.
I bet she is. Well, hello, Lisa, if you're watching this. So you mentioned your camp, right? And the skills training that you're doing. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. So if someone that attends your camp,
Mhm.
what's going to happen? What are they going to learn? What are you guys going to have them do?
Well, I haven't really made out
Well, I
kind
meant
of like the layout
skills
yet,
thing
but if
skills thing that you're doing.
Oh, the skills. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm starting to do my own training sessions. So you can do a individual session. Sometimes I'll do like a little group session, but mostly individual. And I'll kind of talk with you and your daughter or your son, whatever the case may be, and kind of figure out what you want from me. And you'll tell me like their strengths and weaknesses, things that you think that they need to work on, and all that. And so those will really be our main focuses, but I'll obviously add some of my own stuff that I want you to work on. But mainly I just kind of I kind of figure out what you want from me and then try to incorporate that into my training. So everybody's session is kind of different. With a group training, it'll be a little bit of the same just because it's more of skill work, tailored to everybody that you can kind of, grow off of. But whenever we're one-on-one, I'm focusing on the things that, your parents are saying that are your strengths and aren't your weaknesses, if I said that right. So we're basically focusing on your weaknesses and trying to better those. And, so that's with the one-on-one training. And then with the Zoom online virtual training, it's kind of the same thing. You're able to fill out, like what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what you want from me. And like I said, there's 3 components, which is the mentorship, the film review, and then the skill training. And the skill training is basically ball handling. And you can do a little bit of form shooting, things like that. Or if you have a gym, then I can put you through a workout. And then the mentorship piece is kind of like those who need a little bit of guidance, obviously you're trying to figure out yourself in the basketball world as well, how to be a woman and, aside from a basketball player. So we really focus on that and kind of, giving advice, just letting you kind of vent. And then I try to give you the advice that I went through, or I think that it could help you. And then the film review is basically like, you can send in your film and we'll sit there and we'll go over it and kind of critique your game and, pick out points where, I think that you can improve on, or, things that I'll ask you questions. Where do you think you can improve? Just things like that. And so those are pretty much my training pieces right there for right now that I'm starting out with. And it's been going well. So, I really enjoy it, especially the mentorship piece.
Awesome. Well, I ran a lot of camps back
I
in
know.
the gap. So like you say, back in the gap, in my age, we say back in the day.
Right.
So if you need any help in terms of guidance, in terms of, hey, here, what should you do? How should you structure? Feel free to reach out to me. I got tons of stuff that I can definitely share with you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So let me say this, folks. I want to speak to the audience. If you have a young lady or a young man that's playing basketball, one of the things that is always difficult is getting good guidance and mentorship from someone that not someone who thought they wanted to play, someone who's played at the highest level, right? Brooke, I'm telling you, because I've seen her play. Played at the highest level, and she was very good at it. So she can help your son or your daughter up level their game. So we're going to put that link in the comments. And what I want you to do is I want you to at least reach out and have at least one conversation to better understand how she can help your son or your daughter. These type things really help people grow. It helps your daughter, helps your son grow. So I want you to take advantage of that. And the beautiful thing is they're doing some of it virtually. So you can be anywhere. You don't have to be right here in the great country of Texas. I don't know why you don't live anywhere else, but you can,
exactly.
Just come to Cypress, but
or Lake City,
Okay. I want you to be able to reach out to Brooke and her team of folks that's going to help your son or your daughter. I'm not saying they're going to help them play at the college level. I'm not saying they're going to help them make professionals, but it's going to help them improve their game. And that's what people need, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So, hey, what motivates you? What motivates you every day? What gets you up every day? Beside the baby, I know that.
Just being wanting able to be able to succeed, you know. I want, obviously you said besides the baby, but I want to be able to look back and be like, you know, my son can do this. I can do this for my son, or me and my husband can do this for my son, you know, and just being able to give the best life that we can for him, honestly. So, and then just personally, just being able to wanting to grow. Um, you know, I think sometimes in life you kind of get a little stagnant, you know, and you don't really know which way you can grow, how you want to grow, you know. So I think for me right now, it's a lot of, you know, self-awareness and kind of realizing what I want out of life and what I want for my family and, you know, my son, things like that. And so I think that piece for me right now is just kind of knowing myself and knowing what I want out of life.
Okay, awesome, awesome. TK said,
I know,
"What's
I
up?"
see it. Hey, TK.
There's some folks that live in Amber Higginbotham that lives in Pearland, so they're close to you.
Yeah, yeah.
And let's see. TK says she's a great resource. Don't allow the ability to speak with someone that has been there and done that pass you by, folks. Yeah, definitely. You want to reach out.
Appreciate that, TK.
Um, so, um, who inspires you the most and why?
I would have to say my mom and then my husband. My mom, obviously, because she's been a single mom, you know, her whole life. And when I was young, she was taking me here, taking me there, taking me doing this, you know, while all doing it by herself. And like I said, I have a younger brother. And so, you know, just watching her and seeing her as I was growing up and just seeing her overcome all of these obstacles that, you know, came her way and not even like, when I tell you, not even blink an eye. Um, that is just inspiring to me, you know. That's something that I want to be as a mother, you know. Obviously I have the help, but she didn't. So when you look back and now that I'm a mom and I'm like, whew, I don't know how you did with two on your own, you know.
Right.
That just speaks volumes to me, and it's just kind of like, you know, wow, like I want to be that, you know. And
Yes.
then I would say my husband, because he's kind of the same way. It's just like you watch people and, you know, you watch how, you know, adversity comes into their life, or, you know, just things that you wouldn't even imagine, you know, hit them. And it's like they're able to keep going without even, you know, not even letting it bother them, or,
Robin.
you know, not even letting them take a step back. And it's like you watch these people and I watch him and I'm just like, you know, wow, like, you know, if you're this, then I, you know, I need to step my game up and be this, you know.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I would say definitely those two. I learned a lot from them, and so, you know, they're a big inspiration to me, honestly.
Well, that is awesome. And yeah, you know, I've never been a single mother, but I do know about raising kids, and it definitely can be challenging sometimes. So that's awesome. It's awesome tribute to your mom and what she's done as well, raising you. So great
Right.
job, and great job to Cam for being that inspiration for you
For sure.
as well. All right. So Amber says, hey, her daughter's a freshman. She plays, I think it's at Pearland High School. I think she plays, and so she's getting better all the time. So you guys need to reach out and call Brooke.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Go look up was Clear Springs High School. Go look up some of those records over there and see that name Brooke McCarty all everywhere. And hey, I see that your former coach is logged in and she's watching. Karen.
Hey.
Um, awesome. So, you know, we've all had successes in life, and you've had a lot of success in your life. But what's been the most important lesson that has come from a difficulty that you've experienced?
I would have to say in 2018, I would say when I wasn't drafted. Um, you know, I think that kind of took me mentally, it kind of took me back, you know, because like I said, you put in all this work, you do all this and you work this hard, and then your end goal, you know, doesn't happen the way that you want it to happen. And so I think that the biggest lesson for me was kind of to take a step back and kind of be okay with failure, you know. And not be okay with failure as in like over and over and over, but allow things to happen how they're supposed to happen. Obviously that wasn't for me, and I had a hard time with accepting that and accepting that, all this work that I put in over the years, that it wasn't being rewarded. And so once I was able to kind of sit back and kind of, let my mind relax and overthink everything, like you can't force things, and you can't expect everything to happen how you want it to happen. And
Right.
so I think for me, it was just realizing that, and realizing that it's okay to not, you know, it's okay to, I guess I don't want to say, accept failure, because that's not what I'm trying to really say, but it's okay for everything not to work out how you want it to work out.
Sure.
And it's okay to do different things, so I think that would be the biggest lesson. Is I always, was like, let me work out hard for this and do this and do this so that this can happen, so that this can happen, when all reality, you never know what could happen, or you never know what's not gonna happen.
Right.
So just not relying on that one thing so much.
Right. Yeah. One guest said either we succeed or we
Or
learn.
we learn, yep, for
Yeah.
sure. And I definitely think that that was a learning experience for me, because I was always used to, working hard and getting this, working hard and getting this, and that was one of the things that, I was really working hard with. But I think that I overworked it, to
Mhm.
where then I was not, performing to the best of my ability. So I think I was overthinking it and, thinking about it too much. So,
Sure.
and just learning from that, I think that would be my biggest, in the past couple of years, my
Yeah.
biggest lesson.
Okay. All right. Awesome. 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 So, we have a segment, Brooke, that we call Would You Rather?
Okay.
Right. So, we're going to play a little game of Would You Rather? All right.
Perfect.
So,
Yep.
would you rather have a sports stadium named after you or have a university named after you?
Ooh, I would have to say a university.
University. All right. So, would you rather fulfill your biggest wish or resolve your biggest regret?
Fulfill my biggest wish.
Biggest wish. All right. Would you rather meet your great grandparents or meet your great grandchildren?
Ooh. Well, I've already met my great grandparents, so I would have to say
Oh,
my great grandchildren.
okay. All right. Look at that. See, you got away on that one. All right. Would you rather have a life rewind button or a life pause button?
Pause.
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 Okay. All right. A couple more here. Would you rather be a ninja or be a pirate?
A ninja.
A ninja? You want to throw that
Yeah.
star, huh?
Yeah. Ninja. Ninja for sure.
All right. Last one. So, would you rather have $1 million in Amazon gift cards or $100,000 in real money?
Amazon gift cards for sure.
Amazon.
For sure.
You said
For
that
sure.
pretty quick.
Yeah. The amount of money I spent over COVID, yeah, for sure, Amazon.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see. TK says process over outcome, right? Put in the work and be satisfied with what you have done and
Yep.
learn to live with the outcome. If you know you gave everything,
You have no
you have
regrets.
no regrets. Yeah.
Yep. For sure.
Love that. Love that. So let's see here. I want you to talk to high school athletes that are out there,
Okay.
right? So what advice would you give, not the starter on the team? What advice would you give that 12th, 13th player on the team about their level of commitment to the team and working hard, and even though they may not be starting or playing the amount of minutes that they want?
I would definitely say just find your role. Like I said, I'm big on strengths and weaknesses. So find out what your strengths and weaknesses are and what you can contribute to the team. I think that a lot of times, if you're not that star player, you're trying to imitate what that star player is doing. But in all reality, there's something you're on the team for a reason. There's something that makes you special out of, everybody else. So I would definitely say just learn what you can and kind of contribute to what you can and keep growing and keep building and kind of keep working on your game to where now people are going to start talking about you. It doesn't matter how talented you are. Like if you can have all the talent in the world and not work hard, and then you can have a person who has all the, dedication and hard work, and they can, get that talent. So it's like, you never know where you'll be in a year after putting in all that work. You never know when you'll be in 2 years, So don't really try to worry about what everybody else is doing. Just keep building yourself, and then eventually it'll come to you.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. Absolutely love that. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to talk to that star player, right?
Okay.
The one that everybody is oh, they're calling that person, right? Right.
Right.
They're calling that person, but they don't have the right attitude to be the leader of the team because it's about them versus about the team.
Right.
Talk to that person.
I would say, you can, like I said before, you can have all the talent in the world. If you don't have that dedication, that hard work, that leadership role, no matter how talented you are, that's not going to attract coaches to you, And I'm speaking for if you're looking to go to high school or college, you can have all this talent and you can be the best player on the team, but what coaches are looking for is to build that culture. So if you're not fitting into that culture, they'll find someone who's probably not as talented as you, and they'll bring them in instead. And that's just because they have the right attitude. They're willing to work hard. The talent will come. So what I would say is, never become complacent, and never, get so outside of yourself that you lose yourself, and just keep working hard. Like, even if you have the most talent, you have to still put in work, and be that person that people can come to, be that person, because that alone, that leadership and, being that person that people can rely on, obviously you're talented, that speaks more volumes than you being talented.
Yeah. Great advice, by the way. Awesome advice. I love that. So, I know you were recruited heavily, very heavily, out of high school, right? So talk about that experience, when you're going through that and you're getting, all these piles of letters every day and phone calls, and everybody I want Brooke, we need Brooke. And they put the thing with Brooke in the uniform and, all of this type stuff.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
I actually did not enjoy the recruiting process. For me, it was super hectic. Like, you have to talk to this coach, you have to do this, you have to do this. And, I wasn't really, that just wasn't my thing. I've never been, that type of person. So it was overwhelming. I already knew in my head, I had an idea of where I wanted to go, obviously, And so, for me, it was more of like, I was dodging calls instead of picking up calls, And so for me, like I said, it was overwhelming process. I didn't really like it. It was awesome. Obviously you want to feel that love, it's cool to, that these teams want you and everything, but it's literally so many colleges out there that you're like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to even, be able to sort through this. So, like I said, I already had I guess an idea of where I wanted to go at the time. And so that for me was good. I think just because now I knew what I needed to focus on and what schools I wanted to, pursue, and what questions I wanted to ask, things like that. So it's definitely different these days. I wasn't taking a lot of visits like that or anything like that. So I think that for me, it was easy in a way of that I've already knew where I wanted to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I remember when TK was going through that process, and we were living in Chicago at the time, and the mailman came one day and knocked on the door, and he goes, "Who lives here?"
Exactly. It's like,
and, he goes, because every day we're delivering all of these letters.
Yeah. Yeah. And then when the phone calls are coming, it's like, ooh, that's too much. Too much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing. So let's look at, let's say you have a crystal ball, right? Let's look 10 years out. What do you see in the life of Brooke and Cam? What do we see?
I see me, both of us probably working for ourselves. Me doing basketball things and him doing, he's talented at everything. So something that he wants to do. And then maybe one more kid. We don't know yet. And then, just living, honestly, traveling, things like that. You know, obviously Cam will be in school, baby Cam will be in school by then. So probably stationed somewhere where we want to live, probably somewhere out in the country. And then, just living life, honestly, doing our thing.
All right. Not gonna be 10 kids, right?
No. No.
You gotta have a
maybe team. 2 more, but not 10. No.
You have your whole team. It's like Brooke 1, Brooke 2, Brooke 3.
Yeah, it's not happening over
here. So do you have a mentor?
Not necessarily. I would say that I have a couple of people who guide me in the right way. I've just, like I said earlier, I started recently working with Ashley Roberts. She played at the University of Texas. She's sort of being a mentor in a way. So, a little bit. I would say Coach Earl, definitely. But as me just saying, that's my mentor, not necessarily.
Okay. All right. Well, make sure you get one. Everybody needs mentors to help take them to the next level, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then the other question is, who are you mentoring?
I am mentoring actually this young girl at my high school. She's a junior right now. Her name is Kylie Mentor. And so, just trying to help her get to the next level and kind of carry her legacy through our high school. Okay. So I'm mentoring her. And then, like I said, the mentorship on our Zoom meetings and things like that. But right now I think I'm really focusing on her, just so I want to get her. I want her to, exceed her limits and kind of get to the next level and be able to accomplish everything that she wants to accomplish. So I would say that I'm really trying to focus on her and help her.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, well, I'm going to talk a little bit here. I want you to put that link in the chat so that I can make sure it gets in the thing there. Okay. So, folks, we've been talking to Brooke McCarty-Williams here this evening, and what I want you to understand is Brooke, and you can see this in her, is very talented basketball player, but you can see the humbleness in her voice and what she's saying and what she's thinking. And now she's in that part of her life where she's trying to figure out how to give back to others, right? To help bring someone else up. And in life, our job is we're going to have people that's going to pull us up, right? Then we get good at what we do. And then it's our job then to pull someone else up. And that's what she's doing. And that's what we're kind of talking about tonight. And let me tell you what, folks, if you're looking for someone to help your child become a really good basketball player, learn better skill set, learn how to play at that highest level, then Brooke and Ashley are definitely people that you should reach out to. And we're going to be putting a link here up shortly.
I'm grabbing it.
And but I just want you to understand something, folks. You see, when you're playing sports, you got to remember it's about team, T-A-M-E, right? No matter how good you are, and Brooke even said this, no matter how good you are, the coach is trying to develop a team culture, right? And they'd rather have someone that has a little bit less talent, that's a team player, versus someone that's has more talent, but they're not necessarily a team player. See, because at the end of the day, teams win championships, not individuals. Unless you play an individual sport, but teams win championships. And that's exactly what we want to make sure that you get out of tonight. We also want to make sure that you understand that once you get to a certain level and you achieve a certain things, then it's time for you to start thinking about how you're going to give back, how you're going to mentor someone else. We all have a place in life where we can mentor other people, and that's what Brooke is doing in her program as well. So I am going to put this link in the chat so that you can click on that link and reach out to Brooke and her team.
Perfect.
So that is now posted. Let me put it on my personal page as well. All right, so that is now posted. You can click on that link and reach out. I guarantee you, folks, you're going to get something good. I just know that. I know Brooke, and you're going to get some good stuff. She's going to be able to help your son or your daughter better understand this. And see, she came to a lot of our camps, you know, so she understands how to run camps. She understands how to motivate and inspire others as well. So Brooke, a couple other things. So let's say it's this Cam Senior took Cam Junior out to the park and they're playing catch, or not right now. He can't play catch right now, but you know, they're playing catch. Okay. So is this you in the house, you in the four walls? What dessert are you going to eat?
I would have to say the butter pecan ice cream, Bluebell.
Oh yes. I'm a Bluebell butter pecan ice cream kind of guy. So
it's the best.
Absolutely. It's awesome. So I'm doing my fast right now until Thursday is the last day. And guess what I'm going to have that day? Yeah.
I don't know how you're doing it.
Hey, you know, it is what it is. We just try it, and it's working out so far. So on 2 more days, right?
Right.
So if you could give experienced adults, 2 or 3 things that they could help young people with today, what would that be?
I think giving advice, being open, and I would say guidance. I think that, you know, just from doing these little trainings and things like that, you know, a lot of people or a lot of kids think that, you know, their parents they don't know how to talk to their parents, or their parents won't understand, you know? And so honestly, you know, we all go through it as kids, you know, we're like, oh, I don't know if I want to talk to mom, or I don't know if I want to talk to dad, you know, but being open, you know, having that relationship to where your kid can go to you and be like, if they came to you and be like, you know, mom, I don't want to play anymore, you know, it's not like oh, you know, like, what? Like, no, it's like okay, well, what do you want to do? Like, you know, giving them options, things like that. I think that's the biggest thing that I see is, you know, just being able to have that guidance, that communication, you know, that in between you and your child.
Okay. Awesome. I like that. So last question. If there was a book that was written about you, what would the name of the book be, or what the title be? And what would the summary say in the back of the book about you?
Oof. Man, that's a good one. I was thinking about that earlier. I would say the title would be probably Figuring It Out.
Okay.
And then the summary about me, you know, that's a good one. The summary. That's a good question.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what that means, that you just have to think about the book and think about that, and then we'll have to have you come back to talk about
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll figure it out soon.
So TK just sent me a message and said, you would have lost your mind if I would have said I didn't want to play basketball anymore.
Exactly. Tell her I already know how that is.
Yeah, she's right. I was like, wait a minute.
In the house.
After all of these years, and
Exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna play it and you're gonna love it.
one way or another, right?
Yeah. Make this the easy way or the hard way. So Brooke, anything else you want to leave the audience with before we close out?
I'm thankful that you allowed me on the show, and I hope you guys got some good info from me, and I hope to see you guys again one of these days. But yeah, I'm just really thankful to be a part of this, of your show, Mr. Said.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Brooke, for taking the time out to have you be a part of the show. We'll definitely enjoy. Talk Leadership with Cedrick is where we bring in people that is going to help you go to another level. We only talk to leaders, folks. So you're listening to a leader right here tonight. And as I always tell you before we leave the show, before I do that, let me tell you at 6:30. I will be on the Empowered Living Network with our show with the Black Entrepreneurs Institute. So tune on over to Empowered Living and watch us there. We're going to have a different type of show tonight. The founder, we are excited. We are motivated, and we're going to do a little bit different stuff tonight. So tune in for that at 6:30. Come back here on Facebook at 7:30 and watch Talk with TK, and she's going to be talking about it's TK and her Mindset 180 Academy, helping you change and elevate your mindset and help you with mental performance is what she calls it. So come on back here at 7:30 and watch that. And then, folks, as I always tell you, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, and don't be on the menu. Thank you and good night. Hold on, Brooke.